So, with how special of a week we've had, I got to clap, I guess. I mean, what ends that?
Keep that in, Greg.
So, with how special of a week we've had, I honestly thought it's a funeral today. So, there's a couple things I'd like to do. So, first things first, we're going to light a candle here.
Hold that up for you.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, boss.
Yeah.
This is, we're lighting a candle in honor of the end of the Jets season. 4 plays in, gone way too soon.
You know, 4 plays in, yes. I think in the back of our minds, we thought it was over. But, like, we beat the Bills, so there was still, like, that. And there was, like, that mystery of, like, maybe Zach actually is, you know, what are you pulling out right now? No. What? I did not know he was going to do this, just for everyone at home. That's tough.
In honor of how much of a circus this season has been at this point, I thought I would also dress for the attire and bring a little bit of cheer to the kiddies this week on the Jets Up North podcast.
I'm cheered. Let's go.
Hey, kids. It's Zachy the Clown. I'm going to run around and do some spins and take an 80-yard sack.
Could you make me like a balloon animal, but it's actually
just a big L?
Aaron Rodgers' Achilles.
Pops
it. Pops it. That's funny.
Oh, jeez. Anyways, I just thought I'd rock some attire this week, but I got to take this off.
That was funny.
Oh, boy. And we're back, baby. Jets Up North podcast, episode 15. 1-5.
Wow.
Huge. We put out more podcasts than the Jets have offensive touchdowns this year. Where's our recognition, you know?
Jesus.
Anyways.
And more toilets than Russell Wilson has in his house.
True. 12. True. We beat him a couple weeks ago. Good point. A little callback to last week there. So, this is it. Jets on North podcast, episode 15. Thank you for flying with us as usual. We're your hosts. My name's Cole. This is my boy Adam. We're here to talk about the Jets as per usual. Today, we're going to talk about the Jets-Falcons game. Not much to talk about there. We'll talk about, potential big-name quarterback getting benched and the ramifications of that. We'll talk about the top performers, and then we'll also look into next week. The Jets take on the Texans. This was a game that before the year, we thought this was one we would have handled easily, but it's a little roll flip now. It's almost, I think.
Isn't that funny?
It is.
Let me check our record predictions.
I updated it too, so yeah, you can see our thing. And then we'll talk about some of the Jets quarterback issues. That seems to be a weekly reoccurrences, and then we'll end off on a good note and talk about Jets Twitter, coming together this week for the greater good. So, really quickly though, did you want to start with the record predictions?
I just wanted to look at like what we picked for the Texans game, and you had us beating them, and I had us losing to them. So this is a pivotal moment for our records.
Because I need to catch up.
Yeah. So if
I had us beating them.
If we beat them. We're
going into Jets-Falcons here, really quickly here, Jets took this one on the chin, just like every other game. They lost it in a tight one, 13-8.
That safety was hilarious, too.
It was.
The way Quinnen, blew it up, and then
Ashton Davis
comes in, and Bijan, bounces off of both of them and just falls over in the end zone. I love that.
And then the Falcons went up 3-0, and I texted you. I was like, I don't think the Jets are built to come back down 3-2.
We're not wrong.
Yeah, and they weren't. So really quickly here, let's go through some of the stats. So passing yards, Jets had 197. Falcons had 104. Rushing yards, Jets had 62. Falcons had 90. Sacks, Jets had 3. Falcons had 4. And then the Jets had 3 turnovers, and the Falcons had none. You're not going to win with that formula. It's heartbreaking that we actually 197 passing yards. I would have taken that actually last week if you told me, but it was split between multiple quarterbacks, so I don't know if you can really get as excited for that.
That's so bad. The fact that we're 197, not bad.
I know. It's like, man,
the bar is in hell.
That illustrious 200, man. And CJ Stroud, the rookie quarterback that we're facing this week, every week, dude, to no-name receivers.
Dog.
So, as you can kind of assume, if you were watching the game, you saw Tim Boyle air past a freaking pass over Garrett Wilson, landed right in the basket of Who was their safety?
Oh, I can't remember his name.
Number
I picked it
3,
off.
big
Yeah.
name safety. Easy interception, was basically a punt, and he got benched
Jesse
after that.
Bates?
There you go,
Yeah.
Jesse Bates,
Yeah.
former Bengal, yeah.
Yeah.
And Tim Boyle got benched. Unfortunately, you hate to see. We'll never forget where you were. We talked about it when the Tim
We'll
Boyle
never
era,
forget where we were.
in the Tim Boyle era began.
But damn,
and
do
ended.
we hope we could
Forget.
where we were.
We're still trying. He just adds. Tim Boyle literally just goes into the most random quarter. It's like Jets trivia. It's like name a random Jets
Literally.
quarterback. Oh, Bryce Petty.
Yeah.
Tim Boyle.
Tim Boyle.
Oh, Mike White. Like
Trevor Siemian.
Trevor Siemian. Or
Josh Johnson.
Yeah, Josh Johnson. So yeah, just more misery and pain with the quarterback position. We'll kind of circle back around to that later, but for now, it's just been misery. Adam, I mean, there's not much to say about this loss, but give me your 2 cents on this.
Yeah, it was bad. It was hard to watch, man. And honestly, looking at the score and everything, I thought we had scoregami 13-8, but that's not scoregami.
It wasn't. It was. Like,
I was hopeful.
It was like a while though. I think it was like 2012 or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
We got a scoregami the other day.
we did.
Yep.
Honestly, I think there's been like 3 or 4 this year.
It's
Which
been
is quite a few.
Yep.
Considering it only gets like less, like there's
It's tougher, right?
there's less odds every time there's a new scoregami.
If you
'cause,
don't know what scoregami is,
Yeah.
why don't you explain it to the people, Adam?
it's okay. Yeah. So since the inception of the NFL, every time a game ends, there's a final score.
13-8, for
and-
example.
Yeah, 13-8. And every unique score is a scoregami. So I think whenever the first time 13-8 occurred, I don't know, maybe it happened before 2012.
Yeah.
That would have been a scoregami. And
There's a Twitter page that gives live
Yeah,
updates,
awesome.
percentage, chances as the games happen.
so good.
Yeah, it's.
I love
it's
following
great.
that account. I don't know why.
I'm
get,
out
like,
of fantasy, both my leagues
Yeah.
this year. The Jets are basically eliminated.
that's-
So now the only thing I'm watching football for is the
There's a
illustrious
score-
scoregami.
There's a nice
baby.
serotonin dump when you
It
see
is.
scoregami. You're like, yeah!
It's like, you know what? Yeah.
Scoregami.
Sunday scaries. See you later. Scoregami's here. Yeah, exactly. Next thing here, we're going to talk about top performers. Not many this week. I feel like I say this every week, but we'll give credit where it's due. Jermaine Johnson, man. He was one of our guys earlier in the year before even the first game. We were like, he's gonna have a huge breakout second year, and he's been doing that.
Hey, he looks good, man.
4 tackles here, a sack and a half, and 2 tackles for that loss. There was a tackle for a loss on like 3rd and 1 in the game against, I don't know if it was Bijan or Tyler Algier, and Jermaine, like the guy bounced it outside, and Jermaine made a huge shed him and tackled for a gain of 0 and a loss. I'm like, man, he's like,
I think it might have been Tyler.
It
but,
might
like,
have been.
He's just a monster. Dude.
Athletic,
like,
lanky.
He looks awesome.
like
up there.
I'm very
He's just a
excited.
scary guy. I'd hate to block him.
If
man.
he takes like the trajectory that he's at next year, like there's a chance that he could be like a Pro Bowler next year,
totally.
which
Like,
is
he's-
awesome to see.
Yeah.
So that's
Which is exactly what you want from your first round edge rusher. Like
Yep.
I know he was late in the first round, but
I remember there was people mocking him to the Jets at 10 that year.
I know.
with the Garrett pick.
and
there
honestly,
was people
I remember,
that was,
like I remember
upset.
during that draft being like, why is Jermaine not going yet? It became like a bit of a meme.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the Jets traded up, we were all
Right.
like, oh my goodness, is it Jermaine? And we got him. We were like, yo.
Still crazy, and then getting
Yeah.
Brees Hall in the second.
I
That
know,
was
that was-
electric.
what a draft, bro.
And we're literally reaping the benefits of that now.
We are still.
I mean, I don't know if I call it benefits, but they're literally all those 4 names are basically.
we're reaping what we sowed.
Yeah, we're getting. I mean, if we didn't draft those guys, this team would probably have 2 wins.
Yeah,
So,
totally.
Ashton, the closer Davis, you mentioned to him earlier,
Mm-hmm.
but he just keeps beating around the ball in key moment and big plays. I mean, the Jets released Adrian Amos last week, which was kind of like a shocking release.
Yeah.
But I mean, you see the way Ashton Davis is playing, kind of in a, like we talked about, a cool like nickel / like
He is.
safety
He's
hybrid
like a
guy.
good hybrid, yeah.
Gets 2 tackles, a tackle for loss, and then obviously him and Quinn partnered up on that safety, which was
It's hilarious.
a huge play.
Yeah.
3 safeties this year for this Jets defense, and they're the only team to have multiple safeties.
What
Everyone
a
else has
bizarre
either just
stat.
1, and we have 3 of them.
Why can't they take that like energy
and shift it to the offense?
Yeah, just align your chakras a little bit. Stop getting safeties. Score more tutters.
And then Quentin Jefferson, 5 tackles, a sack and a half, and a tackle for a loss. I threw him in here because if you go look at his stats, he's actually quietly having a very good year as like our second D tackle spot.
Yeah.
Al Woods got hurt, weeks back, and
Yeah,
that
that
was
sucks, man.
tough. But
Was that an Achilles too?
I think so.
Like,
It was the Giants game, the game you were at, right?
yes, it was. And I remember being like, "Who is down?" That was the word I talked about this when you're at the game and someone gets hurt. Unless you like check the replay, if you like miss it, you're like, I have no idea who got hurt.
That happened this game too with Sam Guavin or whatever.
Yeah.
None of the beat writers were like, I don't know who's hurt right now because the whole team was around.
Oh
him.
yeah, everyone.
Because I guess he got, I think someone like his ankle or his foot got hurt badly because he was in the bottom of a pit.
I remember that,
pit, which is unfortunate. But moving on here, we kind of mentioned it before with that 2022 draft class. But man, Garrett Wilson and Brees carrying this offense. We both texted during the game when they're stacking up on the TV. I had to take a picture because it says they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. I feel like this is a good
this is worth
testament.
10,000 words.
That's a lot of words. So like break it down for us here, Adam.
Basically, we only win when Garrett and Brees actually get the ball. And as you can see, they are literally the entire offense.
Crazy.
So it's just ridiculous. And we talked about it before we started recording. Like, we need to build around these guys. They're blue chip players. You look at, like, the Patriots, for example. Yeah. They don't really have anyone on offense. So even if they take Drake May, they don't have these kind of guys. Like, I hope that Rodgers comes back fully healthy. I'm sure he will. Like, I don't really see why not. But, like, 20 touches a game. Like, they have more touches a game than the rest of the offense. The 30-yard plays makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, I want to know who the other three are for the rest of the team.
30-yard plays?
It's got to be, I don't even know.
Probably Xavier Gibson.
He's probably
got a random deep ball.
He might, yeah. Oh, he did, actually, yeah. And I feel like Rucker could be one. Either the back shoulder one against the Chiefs, or he had that one where Zach hit him. I don't know if it was last game before.
Because he ran a little bit after.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So, Rucker might have two of the 30
do you think
plays.
Do you think we could name the 3 touchdowns? I know Bawden's one.
Nick.
CJ again. Oh, yeah,
one.
and CJ.
Yeah, and CJ.
Against the Chiefs. Yeah. That's it. And the rest are literally just them. That is insane.
That is so bad, man. Oh. And if you're a defensive coordinator, you can just key in on these guys. You put a safety over top of Garrett. And then just like instead of a QB spy, you do a running back spy with your Mike linebacker.
Well, and Brees' like yards per carry the last couple of games has been bad because
they
when he's
stack the box.
Yeah. Anyways, pain, man. This offense. Let's move on from this game.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're not gonna spend much time talking about it.
Yeah.
Let's really quickly look into next week. The 4-8 Jets take on the 7-5 Texans. Like I mentioned earlier, this Texans team going into the year was projected to be a top 3 drafting team.
Yeah.
They started pretty slow, and then everything started to click. You got the emergence of Tank Dell, who's hurt now, and then obviously CJ Stroud, who's in the MVP conversation.
That's insane.
Which is great for him.
I have a buddy who's a Panthers fan, and I feel really bad for him. Like watching your team trade away all that for Bryce. I still like Bryce. I still think Bryce is awesome.
I think Bryce needs help around him. He's getting the Sam Darnold treatment right now.
But like, yeah, as a Panthers fan, it's got to be hard to watch.
That is,
you know,
would have been nice to have DJ Moore, man. Would have been nice.
And and
a couple picks to help him out. Yeah.
Brutal.
So really quickly here, going into matchups to watch this week. We got CJ Stroud taking on this Jets defense. We kind of just touched on it. Off potential MVP candidate, probably a lock as of now, unless an injury happens to be Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Going up against the Jets defense, I think we haven't really had the chance to see this Jets defense go against many young guys.
True.
It's more so been, and they've been doing pretty good against most quarterbacks, but we'll see how Stroud handles it. I'm kind of excited to see that matchup. Can the Texans playmakers step up without Tank Dell? We kind of already mentioned it. Tank Dell broke his fibia, I believe.
Yeah, he did.
Super unfortunate. Was a guy that I was excited coming in.
And he's out for season now too. Sucks.
Man. And I know they have Nico Collins, who's still a playmaker. They have Devin Singletary.
Didn't Nico put up like 200 yards last week?
Yeah,
like, he balled
Nico's
out.
been really good for them too. So, and it's always excited to see how this Jets secondary kind of matches up against other teams, especially when like CJ Stroud's making it work with guys who aren't like big household names. So we'll see how that plays out. This Jets offense versus themselves. Rivalry watch. Can this Jets offense stop? Say it with me now. The self-inflicted wounds. Thank you.
Sorry. I was like,
that's okay. You're just getting over being sick, so I'll give you some grace.
My brain is mush.
No. Can they get over the self-inflicted wounds and actually...
I don't think we finish each other's sentences.
Yeah.
What does Tom say? Like, do you know that clip of Tom Cruise and...
it's Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller, yeah.
And Ben Stiller's like a stunt double.
He's like, we don't finish each other's sentences.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
So, can this Jets offense actually just do anything? Can we actually, like... It's cringy. Like, you really physically cringe watching it.
It is physically cringy, yes.
And then will Chad Pennington or Mark Sanchez come back? That's also my other question. I mean, we obviously will get to
We're
that
desperate.
momentarily here.
Desperate.
We did add a quarterback, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, it wasn't one of these guys.
Yeah.
So what's next? I honestly was tough putting together these matchups to watch because I was like, I don't like what is there to watch?
What is
aside-
there to
Literally, the only question mark with it, it's the same thing week after
Yeah.
week. It's a death by 1,000 cuts. It's like the
Literally.
Jets defense is gonna force 3 and outs,
Yes.
get you good field position.
Yes.
We'll have great punting, great field
Special
position
teams
in the
will be
battle.
money. Yeah.
But then the offense is literally gonna average a 3 and out every drive. They're gonna get maybe 3 first downs in the entire game. They'll be lucky if they sniff the other side of the field, and it's like you're just there, just. I don't even know. You're just there
they just
throwing your head
exist.
against
The offense
table.
just exists in like their own little world. It's
Lingers,
bizarre.
dude.
They linger, man. Linger. It's so bad.
No.
But I
Anyways,
digress.
so that kind of goes into this next talking point now, and this is kind of where we talk less about football and more about drama.
Yes.
This
The
is now
T.
entertainment news.
It's actually Tuesday right now, so it's Tea
Tuesday. There we go. So, hence the reason I put on the clown outfit prior to today's episode. There has been a circus in town, and it's the New York City Circus, ran by Robert Saleh
Let's
and his
go.
Jets coaching staff.
I needed some excitement.
The initial report, Adam,
Mm-hmm.
was from Diana Rossini
Mhm.
and Zach Rosenblatt, and that
Mhm.
was of Zach Wilson being reluctant. The key word, reluctant to play.
And wasn't one of the reasons they voiced was injury concerns or
That
something?
came later
Some BS
after Saleh's
like that?
presser. So the report of Zach being reluctant to play, everyone blows up. Then Saleh goes on the presser and says he just spoke to Zach like 30 minutes prior, and
Yeah.
Zach says, "I want the ball."
Yeah.
So now people are confused. What's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah.
What's true? What's not true? Saleh does a couple more press things. Doesn't really say much. He gives all of his coaching isms, but then we find out today that Tim Boyle got cut.
Yeah.
Very interesting because he was a starting quarterback less than a week ago. They hype him up to be like, oh, he's ready to take the next step, blah, 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 Saleh, giving all of his Saleh speak.
Yeah.
And they fire him or cut him. And so that's interesting. So it's like more fishiness going on. Then they signed Brett Rippon, Broncos legend, beat us that Thursday night game when we had Sam. You know what I'm talking
I
about.
do know what you're talking about. You know who I want to watch? I say his name. His name literally comes up every podcast. Josh Johnson. That's it. Just let me watch Josh Johnson. He's at least exciting.
I know.
Every game he put up like 300.
I know. And at least he
Like,
has like, and he's,
I like how you knew exactly who I was gonna say.
Josh Johnson's like the Josh. I feel like he's like very similar to Josh Dobbs. The Panthers let go of Josh McCown.
Yeah.
That's who I want back. Uncle
Josh
Josh would be behind this offensive
I wanna
line.
hear
That's
them-
fine.
I wanna
Dude
hear
played
them-
with a pull. He tore his hammy.
Yeah.
Was his hammy or
Yeah, it
his
was his
quad off his
hammy,
bone with the
yeah.
Eagles?
I want
and
to hear
finish the game.
the Meek Mill song. The fucking here's Josh McCown.
Yeah.
highlights.
So then today, Aaron Rodgers, our
Yeah.
boy,
Yeah.
goes on the Pat McAfee show and kind of gives
Yeah.
a little sternness about
Mhm.
how like the insider report, like it's not fair to Zach's character and kind of
Yeah.
defends Zach a little bit. All of this. Now, the one thing that I missed out was with the Tim Boyle getting cut.
Yeah.
There's been lots of speculation on
Mhm.
Twitter that
Mhm.
Tim Boyle was the rat, the one that
Mhm.
told Zach and Diana, Zach Rosenblatt, not Wilson,
Yeah.
that Zach told him
Yeah.
that he was reluctant to play. I think if Zach did say those words, it probably wasn't like a serious context.
No.
There was like the clip of Zach and Rodgers on the side like laughing to each other because
Yeah.
of how bad this offense
Yeah.
is. I don't think anyone looks at that and says, "Oh, that looks like I can fix that."
Oh yeah.
I think that's more so
it
what
was
he was
probably like
saying.
a joke, or like he was just like, it's probably him being like maybe complaining a little bit.
A little
Like,
bit, yeah.
One time at work, not in my current job, not in my current career, but at it was like my very first job. I worked a retail job, and I joked with a coworker. I was like, I might quit. Like I hate this job, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And my boss the next day was like, "So I heard you're quitting." So
Wow.
that coworker like
They Tim Boyled you.
literally, and I was like, "Dog, this is not loyal here." So
I-
Tim probably did that, honestly.
That's
like-
exactly it. No, I think that's like your comparison. I think that's super, super accurate.
Mhm.
I also don't blame Zach for being hesitant to play. The Jets benched him.
Yeah.
Not even benched him.
Mhm.
Inactivated him.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's been poor, but like you watch the games that we just watched, and you don't think Zach
He
gives
would
us
be
the best chance
better.
to win?
I think, and also in Zach's defense, they scapegoated him. And
Oh,
then,
yeah.
And then they look like pure garbage without him.
Even-
So honestly, I thought it was kind of hilarious when he said he was reluctant to
I know,
play.
they're like, please, Zach, can
Yeah,
you come back and
Literally,
play?
and he's
Yeah.
like, no. I think
I'm
that's
good.
honestly pretty Chad. Even if, like, let's say it's false.
Yeah.
But if it is true, and he said he was like, nah, I
So-
think it's so funny.
You mentioned the injury comment, and that came up from Rossini after.
Yeah.
That apparently the only reason that Zach even mentioned it was injury potentially,
Mm-hmm.
and I think even then it's not like it was a pretty passive.
That might have been like a
manner.
cover by like the team almost. They
Maybe
like, to
just
like
damage
to
control?
save face almost like even by Zach too, because if he's a realist, he might understand that his future on the team might be coming.
Yeah.
Or his like place on the team might be coming to an end, so he doesn't want other GMs to think that he's like a quitter.
Yeah.
So that injury thing might be like saving face even from his agent and his camp.
Potentially. I feel like at the end of the day, from what we've seen from Zach Wilson since he's gotten here, I think we know enough of him to know that if he was asked again to be the starter, that he
He
would.
100% say yes. Probably.
Yes. I also believe
That dude just loves ball. Like
Yeah.
he might not be
that's
the
never,
best at it.
That's
but
never been the issue with him. Is like
Yeah.
his passion for the game. Zach is
guys
like,
literally have to tell him to go
always.
home
yeah.
because he's like
That
watching
story
film
of
all
Salah
night.
being like,
Yeah.
dude, what are you still doing there?
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think it's a lot of that.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear what Zach has to say for himself when he finally gets in front of the
Yeah.
press. To
Maybe he'll
defend
post
himself.
an IG post, be like, I didn't have service. What did I miss again? He'll do that again.
He needs to do like a YouTube apology video with the big sigh at
With
the beginning.
ukulele, Zach, so strumming.
Yeah.
With
This
the
is a video
sigh.
that I never thought I would have to make. The
It starts with
ukulele.
him on like a couch, like sitting like this.
Like the sit down shot.
Yeah. He does a face reveal too.
Face reveal. All at once. With all of this going on, Adam,
Mhm.
who do you want to be the Jets quarterback, and who do you think the Jets quarterback is going to be?
I
this
want it to be
next game?
Zach. Like
Do you think it's going to be him, or do you think they put out Simeon?
maybe they put out Trevor for like a quarter and they realize, okay, yeah, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
And then they just go ripping next week.
yeah, sure, or just do Zach.
I know,
At least Zach, like, he's cool and he.
dude. He'll sometimes like scramble around and
Yeah.
rush for like 6 yards
Like,
and
you're-
get you to the 3rd and
You
2.
are
Like,
tripping
come on,
if you think Trevor or Brett Ripien are gonna
let it
like,
rip, baby.
do anything. As soon as the Rodgers injury happened, you'd think Woody would be like, "All right, it's okay. You don't need to panic. Just like
Try to salvage what you can.
yeah."
I
And
know.
now Salah and Hackett are like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, we need to start." Oh my god,
Yeah.
Tim Boyle. I've talked about this before on the podcast. Like consistency is how you're successful in the league over the long term. Like I talked
Yeah.
about like, the Steelers, the
Yeah.
Ravens, the Patriots for the last 20 years. Consistency throughout, like top to bottom. So like cleaning house, whether it's Joe Douglas or Salah or Hackett, it just sucks, especially with Rodgers. Like this team was built for Rodgers, and now we're judging it without Rodgers.
It's also tough. You go watch the Bengals last night, and they're playing with their backup quarterback. And what does he
Yeah.
do? He throws for the most passing yards this week.
Yeah, it's just
But also, you look at the Bengals roster, and at least they have other talent. They have
True.
3 receivers
and
that
they
are
have
pretty
an
good.
offensive coordinator who knows how to do more than
Right.
like runs up the gut.
And so it goes to show that, like, a lot
So,
of this does fall on Hackett.
yeah.
For, like, yes, I don't care if you
Yeah.
lose Rodgers. Like, look what the other teams are doing without Joe Burrow.
Isn't it insane that it like makes me miss like Mike LaFleur, even though he was?
I know. But Michael Furr was last year's scapegoat.
I know. It's just like if
I thought it was a good time for
what
both
is it with the
teams.
Jets and we fire a guy, he's the scapegoat, and his replacement's worse.
I
And
know.
then that guy gets fired,
I
and then his
know.
replacement's worse.
I
It's
know.
like this, like we keep getting just down, like we're just going down.
I.e. Todd Bowles. I know.
Like, how does this happen?
Yep. So this kind of goes into this next little spot here. Fireable offenses.
Mhm.
Everyone's calling for blood.
Yeah.
People want everyone
Yeah.
fired. There's people wanting us to let go of Rodgers and just start from scratch, which is, I think, the biggest brain dead take. It's like you
Yeah.
got to see this through with him.
If we had the first overall pick right now, maybe.
So there's 3 names here.
Mm-hmm.
Are there? So it's Salah, Joe Douglas, and Hackett.
Mm-hmm.
If you were Woody right now,
Am I doing like a start bench cut here?
sure, let's do start, bench, which is like hot seat.
Yeah.
Like this is like a warning,
Yeah.
and then obviously a cut. I feel like
Okay,
it's
yeah.
pretty obvious,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
give me a
yeah.
start, bench, cut for these 3.
Can I just preface here?
Yeah.
I don't think Hackett does get fired, but I think if he does, it's because Rodgers was like, "I'm sorry, bro. Like,
I think
you're just not it anymore."
if
Like, it would have to take Rodgers being like, "I'm sorry," because otherwise they're gonna keep him around for Rodgers. Like,
I think if the Jets lose out if
think he
they
gets fired?
continue how they've been doing the
Yeah.
last 5 games, if there's not like a game or 2 where you see an uptick
but like,
of offensive
if
production,
you're Joe
I think he's
Douglas or
gone.
Woody, there's like a fine line between like simping for Rodgers and like doing
Yeah.
everything he requests and like all that. But like, what if what if Rodgers says he's like, well, you can't fire Hackett?
Then you can't.
I
I
know.
think that's what sucks. It sucks that I feel like Rodgers does have that.
Yeah, and I think he does. So that's what I mean. Is like I don't think Hackett's gonna get fired because of that.
Yeah.
And if he does get fired, it's because Rodgers said I want him fired.
So solid JD Hackett.
Yeah.
Give me your start bench cut here.
I'm gonna start JD. Everyone loves to judge the results. I do think his process is above average in the league. And yes, he has his faults, like not going after like a Josh Dobbs, when Rodgers went down.
Yeah.
But I think overall his process is really good. And again, I was just preaching it, like the consistency thing.
Yeah.
I think you need to keep Joe Douglas no matter what.
So then
Salah's getting benched. He's on the hot seat.
he's on the hot seat.
And then Hackett's getting cut.
Yeah.
Sorry, Hackett.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think I'd flip those first two. I think I put more blame this year on JD. I think the biggest thing, I think JD's on the hot seat when it comes to this offseason. How does he do to like build this team with the start, like with the big names, but also I think it's a good challenge for him. What can he do about depth?
Totally.
Like what can we do about the backup quarterback position? You watch the Indianapolis Colts right now, and it makes me so frustrated because they're doing it all with Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
How come we didn't have a Gardner Minshew type guy in place?
I know.
Right? Like
So bad.
So I think but I think that's a learning experience.
Yeah.
I think that's something that I think it's a mistake they won't make again. So
I told you, man, next year backup is gonna be Kirk Cousins.
I know, and that'll be great. Kirk and Rodgers in the same quarterback room, bro. Imagine imagine the memes and
they
the
could
clips
just take
of
turns
them.
in the regular season. Just like there'll be like load management for both of them.
Load management, I love it. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Salah, I'd say start for now. I think with how it's getting close to the point where I'd also would I'd sit him with JD like on the hot seat.
Yeah,
we'll see how this team.
No one's getting started.
No, we'll see how the team. I think it comes down to these next 5 games or 4 games we got.
Yeah.
Like if the team is still getting all these penalties, if the team is still offense is still abysmal, like if it's this bad for the remainder of the year, I wouldn't blame them if Salah was let go, which I don't want to happen.
You can tell Woody wants results based off the big ass chain he was wearing, and like he was bringing out all those people
Woody
week
definitely,
1.
His ego is
when
all
we were
part
playing
of
Buffalo,
this.
all the people that were there, like all the stars and like the famous people, there was like so many people were there. Cause like, and Woody's probably like fuming every day now. Anyways,
so last talking point here. We're ended on a good note.
Yes, fun note.
Jets Twitter coming together for the greater good this week to defend Jets beat reporter Connor Hughes. So if you don't know the story, the Seahawks and the Cowboys played Monday night. Was it?
Yeah.
They played Monday Night Football against each other, and the Dallas Cowboys tight end caught a pass. Who was in coverage? Jets legend, All Pro. Don't forget Jamal Adams in safety and coverage. Very poor play.
Yeah.
He kind of just little boyed him.
Yeah.
And there's also clips like circulating after of like the Seahawks players like pointing at him after the touchdown, which is pretty funny. So Adams, they lose the game to the Cowboys. It was a good game, but they lose. Connor Hughes. So he quote tweets the tweet of the touchdown.
The clip,
and just has the caption, yikes.
Yeah.
As a Jets beat reporter, obviously all the Jets fans know what he's referring to. So Jets Twitter, I guess, probably was clowning a little bit. But what does Jamal do? He obviously digs through Connor Hughes's like Twitter, Instagram, finds a picture of like him and his wife and their baby on vacation, screenshots it, kind of zooms in on his wife, and just quote tweets it with an emoji being like, yikes.
Yeah.
Like implying that his wife is like gross.
Yeah.
And when I tell you that everyone from near, far, like if like anyone under the sun on Jets Twitter came in and absolutely just dunked on Prez, on Blitz Boy for doing this.
Is it LUV, like hashtag love or
Love.
whatever?
People are pulling up old tweets of him. They're they're pulling up one of the tweets was like him talking about how he's like, no, hating, like there's nothing cool about being a hater.
He literally talked about like how uncool it is to be a hater, and it's like, bro, you literally
took a WWE like heel turn. You know what I mean, dude? And so crazy to see. Connor Hughes was like never even made a response. I was waiting for like, what I wanted to see him do was I was hoping that he would get his wife to do a film breakdown on Jamal.
That would be funny.
How funny would that be
if
they pick some clips and it's his wife being like, Jamal, like this is a cover 2. Like, what are you doing here? And it's like him like running around doing nothing. Like I would like pee my pants, dude.
That would be hilarious.
But he didn't respond. But every Jets
I like
beat
that
reporter,
he didn't respond. Honestly, that was a good call.
Oh, because what's great is like all of Jets.
You just
Twitter,
let everyone else speak for him.
NYJ Matt used the GIF of like Avengers Endgame, where they're all
symbol.
running in.
Yeah.
That's literally what it was. It was like you have You have people coming together like that.
Yeah.
Remember the Michael Nania and Boy Green beef? It's like even they were coming together for the greater good. You know, it's like it's like you got Jake Asman and Spiral Kush like coming together, even though they hate each other.
Kush,
Like you got people like it was crazy.
That's so funny.
And so all of this is to say, Jamal Adams, you're a loser.
Yeah.
What a dumb thing to compare you playing bad in a football game
I
to.
know. Why would you?
Connor Hughes' wife is beautiful. Their child is beautiful.
That's such a like.
Yes, Connor's a
low
dork, but he's our
blow.
dork.
Yeah, that's such a weird thing. Like,
You're a pro athlete.
but how are you that insecure? They have to go
I
with another
know.
dude's
I
woman
know.
like that.
Like sick, dude. Jamal, what a character. I like the idea that I had earlier that I mentioned of that would be a great off-season like episode where we
Yeah.
just go from the beginning of Blitz, like Jamal Adams,
His
give
career.
like the eras.
Yeah.
Like rookie season, Jamal was sick. Second year,
2019
third year,
was peak Jamal.
and
Yeah.
then the heel turn, and we could just
Yeah.
talk about like all that. Anyways,
Yeah.
I mean I think that'd be a fun little.
Yeah.
We can go look back at some of the plays that he made, all the good memes that we
Something
had
like
with him.
that.
But with that, I just want to say Jamal Adams, big L, big
Mhm.
L. You know, the Jets may have lost 5 in a row, but that's still the biggest L that I've seen this football season.
Pretty
so,
funny.
anyways, let's on that note, let's go circling back a little bit here to the Jets Texans game because
Yeah.
we do have a game this week.
Score predictions.
Score predictions. Adam?
Do I have to predict the Jets winning?
No, because I think I'm not going to this
I'm
week.
gonna say 28-10 for the Texans.
I like not a terrible game.
Actually, no. Hold on. In my record prediction, I have us winning. Do I not?
You have
No, I have us losing.
so
okay.
and I have us winning.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll pick us winning.
Yeah.
Screw it, man.
Yeah.
I gotta stand
I'm
on
just
my
a hater now.
Yeah.
I'm a Marvin Harrison Jr. fan, actually.
Speaking of that, we called it. We're in the 6th pick
We're
right now.
sixth.
We're snug.
We're staying there.
I think, yeah, I'd like to go a little bit higher. I thought we would be higher than the Giants because we beat them, but we have strength of schedule as the tiebreaker for
Yes,
that,
right.
which is cool.
Yeah.
So,
Which
very
is
cool.
strange, but whatever.
Did you give your score prediction, sorry?
Yeah, 28-10.
28
for
to
the
10.
Texans.
Damn. I think the Jets score a touchdown this game.
Mm-hmm.
1.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're looking at it's 17-13 for the Jets. I think the defense just hangs in there.
Yeah.
I think the Texans struggle a little bit without Tank Dell.
A rookie QB
Rookie
too,
quarterback. The
against
Jets
his
defense
Yeah.
just does the classic just enough.
Yeah, just
and
enough.
I honestly, we don't even know as of recording this, we don't even know who the quarterback will be. I think Saul said he'll know by Wednesday, which is tomorrow. So when Greg's editing this,
Yeah.
whoever the starting quarterback is going to be right here. It's like a guy who's it's like
It's a random guy.
yeah. I'm trying to think of the most like Nick Foles or something. Right here,
Nick
starting
Foles.
quarterback tomorrow. Doesn't even matter. I think the Jets. What did I say it was?
Yeah.
17-15.
Yeah.
17-15 Jets.
Oh, 17-13?
13 Jets. Thank you. 17-13 Jets. I think it comes down to a last possession, and they drive down the field and score a touchdown.
Okay.
Reminiscent of the 2010 Jets against the Texans,
Yeah.
where Sanchez
Yeah.
drove the field in like no time and threw a
Okay.
dot to Santonio Holmes in the
yes,
corner.
goated. I think my prediction comes down to the last drive as well. It'll be 28-3, and then we score a touchdown in the last minutes. Like we're like, go Jets! Final score 28-10 Texans.
It's like that meme.
The meme.
We're on whenever a guy gets
Yeah.
side, it's like Aaron Rodgers drops back, throws a beautiful back shoulder pass to Garrett
Yeah.
Wilson, gets both feet in bounds.
Yeah.
The Dolphins are now up 48-7.
Literally
Yeah.
that. That's what it will be.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. Well, I guess we'll see, man. Unfortunately, I won't be here next week.
Yep.
I'm on vacation, taking some time off. Right before the holidays, I will be in Phoenix. I'm gonna go watch the Golden State Warriors versus the Suns.
I'm excited for you, man.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I haven't traveled to the States since like mid 2000s, like 2007.
That's
I think. I went to
crazy,
Disneyland
dude.
as a kid,
Yeah.
so it's been a long
It'd
time.
be nice to get that warm weather too.
I know it's gonna
You're
be.
gonna come back all tanned next
I'm
epi.
just gonna check out the Grand Canyon.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. But next week we have our boy Ryan coming
Yeah.
back. I believe is that confirmed?
It is confirmed.
Our
yeah.
boy Ryan coming back, the return.
He'll be sitting right here.
Dude will be excited because the Colts are actually like good this year.
Yeah. Well, this is gonna be the Colts epi.
I know. That's kind of what like the episode, like the podcast that I did with them
Yeah,
episode.
yeah.
It's like it was mostly Jets, but it was
Yeah.
like Jets and Colts
Yeah.
up north podcast. But yeah, man,
Just
I'm
the Up North podcast.
yeah. Eventually, we're gonna have 32 different up
Up
north
North
podcasts.
Productions. Yeah.
Yeah. as always, like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
We just hit
Favorite.
an insane amount of TikTok views. You know,
Good for us.
Good
it
for
definitely
us.
wasn't us just refreshing.
No, I
TikTok
know, and
page.
sending it to people and be like,
Yeah.
yo, check this out. That's fine. But thanks as always for flying with us. We have a blast doing this. We'll be back again in the future next week and the week after that. Let's go Jets, man. Let's go 5-7. Then anything can happen. 5-8, I mean.
5
Maybe not. Maybe that's
Anything
thin.
can happen. You know what? No. 9-8.
Sneak in.
Sneak in.
That's it for all of us this week. We'll be back in the future. Until then, peace out and go Jets.
Peacington.